In a time erased from history, before empires were born, there existed 3 powerful kingdoms bound by peace, loyalty, and sacred tradition. But when greed entered the heart of one, a war unlike any the world had ever seen began. A war so brutal, so devastating, that history chose to forget it. This is the story of the Great War of the Forgotten Kingdoms. Long before modern nations, the ancient lands were ruled by 3 great realms. First, there was Aurendale, the Kingdom of Light. Its golden cities were home to wise scholars and peaceful people, all powered by magical stones that sustained their very civilization. Next was Dravukar, the Kingdom of Fire. Its people were fierce warrior clans living amidst volcanic mountains, believing that battle was the purest form of honor and unmatched strength was their birthright. And finally, Syloria, the Kingdom of Shadows. They dwelt in mysterious forests, a kingdom of deadly assassins and powerful seers. They were silent, unpredictable, and lethal. For centuries, these 3 kingdoms lived in a fragile balance. If one moved, the others felt the tremor. But hidden beneath this delicate peace was a spark just waiting to ignite, a tension ready to shatter the world. The trouble began when the Heartstone Aurendale's sacred energy, crystal, suddenly cracked. Panic swept through the kingdom. Without the Heartstone, their land would fall into darkness, and their civilization would crumble. Their leader, King Aldrich, suspected the worst. Someone had stolen a fragment of the stone. His gaze fell upon the only kingdom he believed capable of such a secret, devastating strike. King Aldrich demanded answers. Queen Cerise of Syloria denied everything, her voice sharp with indignation, but it was too late. The trust between them was shattered. Meanwhile, Dravukar's formidable ruler, Lord Ragnar, saw an opportunity in the chaos. If Aurendale weakened, he could seize his chance to become the sole ruler of all 3 kingdoms. He watched from his volcanic throne, a grim smile on his face. The first seeds of the Great War were sown, fertilized by suspicion and ambition. The world held its breath, unaware of the storm that was about to break. One fateful night, the spark finally met tinder. A border village in Aurendale was burned to the ground, its people lost in the flames. Terrified witnesses claimed they saw Dravukar warriors, their banners held high as they rode away from the carnage. For King Aldrich, this was the final provocation. He had no choice. With a heavy heart and a voice filled with cold fury, he declared, "If war is what they want, war is what they will receive." Armies mobilized across the land. Banners were raised against a darkening sky, now thick with the smoke of forges and the dust of marching armies. But what Aurendale didn't know, what no one knew, was that this attack had been staged. It was the work of a rogue Silurian faction, a secret group called the Umbra Circle that wanted all 3 kingdoms to destroy each other. And that twisted, devastating plan was working perfectly. The Great War began with fire and fury. Dravukar unleashed their legendary Flame Riders, fearsome warriors who charged into battle on beasts bred in volcanic pits, leaving trails of scorched earth in their wake. Aurendale countered with their elite Lightforged knights, their shields glowing like miniature suns as they clashed with the fiery horde in open fields. And Syloria remained in the shadows, waiting, watching. They struck only when it benefited them, picking off weakened forces and sowing more chaos. Cities fell. Ancient forests were consumed by flame. Entire armies vanished in the night, swallowed by shadow and steel. The world trembled under the sheer weight of a war that should never have happened, a war built entirely on a foundation of lies. The 3 great kingdoms, once neighbors, were now locked in a cycle of destruction that threatened to consume them all. 2 long, bloody years into the war, a young scout from Aurendale named Johan Valerian discovered the impossible. While on a dangerous reconnaissance mission, he found the stolen fragment of the heart. It was hidden deep inside a Silurian temple, but it hadn't been taken by Syloria's queen. It had been taken by the rogue faction, the Umbra Circle. Their goal was chillingly simple: to collapse all 3 kingdoms and rebuild the world from the ashes under their own dark rule. When Queen Ceres heard the truth, a cold fury unlike any she had ever known took hold. She immediately rode into battle, not against Aurendale or Dravukar, but against her own traitorous people. When news of this reached King Aldrich and Lord Ragnar, the terrible realization dawned on them. For 2 years, they had been fighting the wrong enemy, tearing each other apart while the true threat grew stronger in the shadows. For the first time in history, the 3 kingdoms stood side by side. Aurendale's gleaming knights, Dravukar's flaming warlords, and Syloria's silent assassins, united as one force against their common enemy, the Umbra Circle. The final battle took place in the Valley of Asha, desolate place where even sunlight refused to shine. It was a clash of titans. Magic clashed with steel. Shadows battled fire. The very earth cracked and groaned under the sheer power unleashed by the 3 united armies. In the end, it was Yuan, the young scout who discovered the truth, who fought his way to the heart of the enemy and delivered the final blow that shattered the Umbra Circle's leader. And then, a profound silence fell across the valley. The Great War was over. The kingdoms were scarred, their lands and people bearing the deep wounds of the war. But they were also wiser. A new pact was formed, the Trinity accorded a solemn promise that no war would ever again be started by greed or lies. To hide the shame of their mistake, the Great War of the Forgotten Kingdoms was erased from official history. But legends survived. Whispers remained. Stories of the war echoed through time, a cautionary tale of a conflict that nearly destroyed the world. A war that taught 3 powerful kingdoms the true, devastating cost of distrust, and of the heroes both known and unknown who fought to restore peace in a world that was drowning in chaos. This is the final memory of the Forgotten Kingdoms. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tales from the lost pages of history.